What's good, everybody? What is good, everybody? Hold on, let me adjust this. How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? Make sure y'all hit that like button and y'all subscribe and share. And I got a special guest on here, and I was scrolling through Twitter and I seen her and I'm looking like, hold on. Immediate, I like this lady. I like this woman. And then all of a sudden, I showed it to Kelly back there, right? And she's like, I love her for it. I just want y'all to hear for yourself, man. She's from New York and she got some shit to tell y'all. She gonna tell y'all some bullshit. She's gonna tell y'all some fuckery. Okay? So go, hey, get your popcorn ready, man. I want y'all to listen, okay? And I'm going to introduce Sissy Q, and she's banned from Twitter right now. And here we go.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Mo. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, anytime.
What's shaking?
Man, same old. And this video, the title says, "What the hell is going on in New York?" And so I'm gonna ask you, what the hell is going on in New York? And first of all, introduce yourself before you even say that.
My name is Sissy, and that's my family nickname. My real name is Mary. But I grew up in the Bronx. I'm a New Yorker through and through. I'm not an implant. I know what the real deal is. Product of the 70s, seen it all. But when I tell you that my city is gone, it's gone. We got a bunch of commies running this state. It's so sad. What the president of the United States started back in the early 80s with his redoing of a hotel and building New York back up before Giuliani stepped in. And to see it now that Saks Fifth Avenue is moving out, I mean, the holiday season, you couldn't walk. Today, it's devastating. Restaurants. I'm a New York City waitress, and I don't understand this systematic racism that they're talking about. When you're from the Bronx and you're a native New Yorker, you roll with the punches. And the truth of the matter is, what's got me upset is everybody's talking about the senior citizens and dying in the nursing homes. And I get it. I really do. I get it. But what about the poor people from the boroughs? Nobody's speaking up for them. They were clusterfucked into hospitals. Some of them died right out in the street. There was no need for that. Suit up, PD, FDNY, hazmat. We did it 9/11, and this governor has failed the people of New York. It's atrocious what's going on. It's horrible. I've never seen division like with the blacks and the whites.
Yeah.
It baffles my mind. Because when you're a New York City waitress,
Yeah.
and you're an American that's doing that job, I was very few, because it was easier to do the job if you were an illegal, and lower wages, people didn't care. I was the type of waitress that I got to know my people. I got to know them, especially when you're working in a place over 20 years. And a lot of times, man, I would hear shit come out of their mouths that I would stand up to them. Like, who the fuck are you to come to my country and be racist against anybody that's born here? You're on our turf, and I was always one for running my mouth when I saw truth had to be told. I'm tired of being a second-class citizen in our own country, and it's just not the whites. It's the blacks and the Hispanics that were born here. Look at this shit. You have to, an American citizen in New York, we had to have 5 IDs to get a driver's license. And this illegal aliens, you got licenses. And then some people tell me I'm racist. I'm married to a Puerto Rican, so save the racist comments,
Right.
So, West Side Story, that was me. Have I ever felt racism? In the last, watching the destruction, and I know it's the media. It's how can I be working back in the 90s in Hell's Kitchen when Bill Clinton was the president and Harlem was being rebuilt? Tell a busload of Germans, go see Harlem. It's gorgeous. The brownstones, Apollo. Oh, we don't want to go there. This was before the fucking internet. So, how did they learn? The media. The Democrats have used all of us,
Yeah.
not just the blacks, the blue collar workers. I'm a registered Democrat. The first time they hit us in New York back in '93 was the last time I ever voted before Trump. And I wasn't too happy with Trump. I was with him right before he got elected, and I told him, dude, you need to zip it so you can win it. And he just looked at me and he said, you're pissed off, aren't you? I said, yeah. He told me to go home and watch Network. What?
So he's been an asshole then.
You know what it is? He's a New Yorker. He
Yeah, I
tells
know.
it like it is.
Yeah.
That man would walk when they were doing the Hyatt, and I'd be going home from work. I get out of work about 3 o'clock, shuffle up. During the daylight, I could walk up to 8th Avenue, but not at night. And I would see him going to the Port Authority, paying the homeless to go clean up Bryant Park.
Mm-hmm.
He got sick and tired of watching. So without him taking that first hammer, New York would be shit. That woman died in Grand Central, Christmas holiday. He doesn't get credit for this, but he's the one that put the money into the Jane Doe Foundation, where is a reform of drug addicts and alcoholics that walk around in the blue suits cleaning up New York. That was a part of Donald Trump. Does he get? Yes, I never watched him when he was on his show. What was it?
Apprentice.
Apprentice. Never watched him. I thought he was arrogant and he was full of shit, blah, 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 blah. But he's always been a patriot. And the more that I got to see how they were abusing him and knowing and being from New York, and all of these fucks were his friends before he ran for president.
Mm-hmm.
When they tell me he's a racist, I pull up the picture of Muhammad Ali, Rosa Parks, Al Sharpton, racist Jesse Jackson. You never hear Jesse Jackson speak bad about Trump. Trump paid for Jesse Jackson's 2 failed presidential campaigns. He's such a racist.
Yeah.
He went out with a model in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And Oprah Winfrey back in the 80s. Do you ever think you're going to run for president? And he said, his exact words were, if I ever felt that my country needed it, I would. And he never put anything Chinese, knowingly put anything made in China in any of his buildings.
Wow.
He knew all along that those nice people over there were up to no good. And they're calling Russia, Russia, Russia. My mayor is married to a CBS news anchor.
Okay.
Registered Republican his whole life. 2 years ago, he flips to a Democrat. Why? See, they don't like when I question them.
Mm-hmm.
Why? And now all of his wife went from the local CBS. Now she's national. She played the part under Governor Cuomo. It's sad. The corruption in New York, the corruption for all of us.
Yeah.
Tax upon tax upon tax upon tax. Senior citizens deserve a break. You pay taxes your whole life.
Yeah.
And Trump is fucked up for wanting to take care of Americans. I don't get it.
Yeah. I mean, you want to take, it's just like us. If they tell us we fucked up because we don't want to take care of our home. We don't want to get our house in order. We don't want to just let anybody in our home. We're going to make sure our home is good. We're going to make sure it's clean. We're going to make sure things get right here, not in other people's home. His home right here. It's our home. And they don't want to take our home.
And we've had these people abusing their powers all these years. It's on both sides. It's good versus evil. I never, ever wanted to believe. 9/11, I was in a medical office and they evacuated us. And I was like, why are we out here? And the cop told me a plane hit the World Trade Center. It was a beautiful day.
Okay.
And I was like, are you sure that they're not doing a reenactment of the B-52 that went into the Empire State Building back in the 40s during the fog? And he said no. And then when the second plane went in, he told me to, he we all had to leave. And my daughter had called me, and I lived on the sixth floor in a Bronx apartment. I was still in the Bronx.
Okay.
She was looking down across, and my granddaughter was about 7 months old. She was looking down across the Hudson, and she saw the plane loop in, the second plane loop in and go in. It was just horrendous. And sitting there and watching the buildings fall. Now I worked on 43rd and 11th Avenue in the Market Diner, and up the block was a firehouse, Rescue One.
Okay.
So now I'm like, those guys are good. They're good. They go in, they get everybody. I knew that there was going to be lives lost, but I didn't think the amount. So I was able to get down there by 3 o'clock that afternoon to volunteer. Still not thinking Rescue One. I went back to the diner to see if the boss needed anything, because where I worked, we were on the corner of 11th Avenue, and it was a straight run down to the towers. And when I tell you, what a chill to look down, across the Hudson, down on the Hudson, and not see the towers anymore.
Wow. That had to be that had to be devastating to y'all. I mean, it was devastating to us. I was in Chicago at the time, and I can just imagine.
I mean, I was like, how does this happen? And but I will tell you this. This is how I got involved with the gifts that I have, with my psychic and channeling is right before 9/11 happened. I had an emotional breakdown. I had what I felt the whole world was on my shoulders. And it was like this drudging. And I started talking to the psychic, and she said to me, I see two bluebirds around you. And I was like, why? Bluebirds? I'm in New York City. There's only pigeons shitting on my head. And
Yeah.
and then when the planes hit and I saw that they were both blue, and I felt like a bubble had busted. I was to later learn that I was going to start channeling a lot of those souls that were going. But I knew something was wrong, and I couldn't put my finger on it. So that was my first kind of awakening. And to go back and find out that all the firemen from that firehouse were missing, was devastating.
Yeah.
Because I knew all of them, and it hit the fire department real hard because it was the change of shifts. It was, relieving. And one of the firemen, young guy, his two kids were in the firehouse that morning and waved down to them, and then another one who was the captain of the firehouse. His wife is still Rudy Giuliani's secretary.
Okay.
And she found out a week later she was pregnant. And Terry, they all died. 11 guys at the firehouse died. And it was like, so my thing to give back to New York was I would go to the firehouse after working in the diner, clean up, straighten up for them. And it was just like a rotation.
Mm-hmm.
So now we open up the diner to feed first responders and take care of the wives from Rescue One. America's Most Wanted comes in. So now they at this point, I'm meeting Joe Allback from FEMA. I'm meeting these big wigs, and they're all telling me, I told them straight up, I don't like George Bush. He needs to learn how to talk. I was telling these government officials, president, and
I watched that America Most Wanted when he was in New York. God bless you. He was just like, God bless you. Around there, I watched the whole thing. It's like things are coming back to me now.
Yeah. So now I didn't get to meet him, but he did save my ass. I will give him that credit, even though he was burning it on the back burner. But so it was supposed to be me and my boss Gus, and Gus was from Greece, and something happened with the volume, so they came back and they thought I was a better story than Gus, and the guy asked me, so who do we blame? I said, I'm not blaming anybody for right now. I said, just close that side of the world till we find out who did this. It's that simple. There was this militant black chick. I guess a layover didn't get the message that Malcolm X was really preaching good shit. He wasn't preaching racism to the everyday white. He was preaching
Mm-hmm.
racism about the liberal. I didn't understand that back then, but I certainly do now. But she started screaming out. She called me a guinea bitch, which number one, I'm not. I'm
Right.
Irish. She told me that I kept her in slavery, and I was like, get the fuck over it. I wasn't there, and neither were you. Like I had nothing to do with that. I said, my
Yeah.
people were right with you. It's funny how people bring up the past. We
Uh-huh.
we learn from our mistakes.
Yep.
But if we keep knocking these shits down, guess what? Nobody ever gonna learn.
No, thank you.
And then we're going to repeat the same shit. Well, nobody, and what pisses me off was she said to me, they got what they deserved. They got two kicks up the ass. They each and every one. I total blackout. Forgot the cameras were rolling. It looks like I'm jumping over the counter. I grabbed her by a neck. It took three of my fellow co-workers to get. I don't care. You're thinking about that shit. It's 2 days after the fucking attack.
Mm-hmm.
You could think it, but watch what you're saying, And I was put outside the diner, and FBI came, and they told her if she didn't get out of there, she was going to go. She was a yellow cab driver. So my thing was, how could you be a fucking cab driver and be racist like that? I can't. And there are people that are racist. I can't fucking figure it out, and the thing was, my boss didn't know this all took place.
Mm-hmm.
So when Joe Allback, who was the head of the recovery down at the site, he said to me, "How was the interview?" And I said, "Oh, Joe, man, I'm in big trouble. How hot I'm going to be outside." And he said, "What?" And I told him what happened. He called John Walsh because John Walsh was live from down there that Saturday, the night after the attack, the first Saturday night after the attack.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew everybody was going to see this shit. My brother was an alcoholism counselor in the veterans home out in Queens. He's telling all his people. My sister's on America's Most Wanted. I always knew she'd make it there. But nobody expected. They thought it was just going to be me and Gus.
Yeah.
And everybody got a big surprise when they seen this loony waitress, saying, bah, 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 showing. If I had done that today, I would have been locked up. I just got so overheated, like 2 days after the attack. Watch what you're saying. And that's when I called Congress out for the first time. You could burn the American flag and nothing's said.
Mm-hmm.
But in actuality, there's a $2,000 fine if you burn the American flag. So that was, I became, a lot of people came in to see me, a lot of the unions and,
Yeah.
but this one chick that I worked with, she told me, you should be fired. And one of the union guys said, if she gets fired, we're going to put the rat outside this place. You'll be fired with her. So that I've always been a radical, like I said, for the truth.
For the truth.
Like to get to the truth, And I tell all these reporters in New York, you all used to come and run to me with a story when you wanted my opinion, was when you wanted me to say what you wanted to say.
Yeah.
Even America's Most Wanted, about 5 years ago, because we're coming up to 20 years, said to me, we're thinking about doing a remake, like what happened? Where are these people now? We'll send you the script. I said, wait a second. It wasn't a script back then. I don't go on script. I talk from my heart.
Thank you. And that's what I said in the beginning. I said, you know what? When I first became this movement, I started advocating, being an activist in 2016. They said, all right, you got a speech coming. You give you 10 minutes, so I write down my speech. And I looked like this. One day, I had forgot my speech when I was in D.C. I'm like, damn, what I was going to do? I was a little nervous. I said, you know what? You do videos every day. Yeah. You're doing a video right now. I said, okay. And I learned,
Yeah.
you talk like you're talking to you. Like we talk to each other.
Yeah, when you talk from the heart, it's godly divine. It's sent to you through your higher power, whoever you choose. You
Yeah.
know, I don't sit here. I I mean, I've hit a lot of rock bottoms. I'm 62 years old. I've been out of work since March, and because I was switching jobs and I wasn't on the books in the new place, and I decided to take a break because I had a fight with a liberal kid who I'm 60 years old, running around, and he's up against the computer. Like, oh, you want me to work? You want me to do that? And I went off in his face. And
Mhm.
I paid the price. It was a high. I made a lot. I make money wherever I go because I'm a people person.
Yeah.
But then again, racism there too. With American kids. Oh, as soon as they see a black family walk in, they're like, and I was like, I'll take them. Like, what the fuck? I said, you go over with an attitude like that, you don't deserve to be fucking tipped. And let me tell you something.
Come on.
I fucking had more black people say, yo, Mary, mama, you here? You here?
You hear?
NBA players, Kendall Gill, Mike Tyson, so many of them. Yo, Mary, you here? Yeah, I'm here. Al Sharpton. Mary, you serving over here? Yeah, I'll go to the other side. You do that, Al, because he knew I was calling his shit. My aunt was murdered by 5 black kids back in the 90s. Her 2 sons were cops, detectives. Her grandson was a rookie cop in the precinct that she was murdered in.
Mm-hmm.
Did I go out and riot? No.
No,
I
no.
had, I had to forgive those kids. It wasn't the whole black community, like
Yeah.
a lot of people say. But this is my point. The fucking media. The media is no friend to the black man. None whatsoever. What are people seeing? In the beginning, you see the white liberal go up and break the window. And then what happens? All the blacks go in.
Yep.
All the fucking Malcolm X said it.
Mm-hmm.
The most dangerous person to the black man is a white liberal.
Yes, yes. And they want to blame it on the Negroes now. Blame it
Yeah,
on the Negroes.
yeah. All this labeling, all this black this, black. Number one, Africa's a continent. It's not a country.
Right.
So you're black American as far as this is the problem, the labeling. I don't give a fuck if you're gay. Whatever you do in your bedroom is none of my business. Stop the labeling. Stop it. You know, I used to have this family that came in to see me in Pepe's, man and his woman, and they adopted all 5 children.
Yeah.
And every one of those kids was Miss Mary, Miss Mary, Miss Mary, Miss Mary.
He's married.
That's what I miss from the place that I was let go of. Not my coworkers, my customers. Because every one of those kids used to think I was an elf. I had something entertaining for everybody. Autistic children, they gravitate right towards me. I
Mm.
love them. And I don't give myself credit for that.
Yeah.
It took me a long time because when you're doing drugs and alcohol all during the 80s and
Yeah.
then you get sober and then you're not sober but you're not drinking. It's a real painful trip, when you don't have God in your life,
Mm-hmm.
when you're on self-reliance. And this is one of the things that I want to get to too. Everybody has spiritual awakenings. A
Yes.
lot of people, and it comes a lot of times from rude awakenings. When
Mm-hmm.
I look back at my whole life, when I got up from the chair during my gang running days, when I was wild, and the chick that sat down got shot, who prevented that? God did.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't until Hurricane Sandy was cleaning New York, getting rid of all the shit,
Exactly.
bringing back the clean waters of the Rockaways, waking people up. And I went through the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous, and when you go into that deep and you admit your wrongs and then you try to make it right, And if you don't continue that, you fall, you know. And I'm not sitting in AA meetings anymore. You know, God bless the people that do it. I
Yeah.
try to practice these principles in all my fair, and that's including everybody. Today, this is a perfect example. Today, I'm reading this article, and I said, that kid looks familiar. Oh my God, I used to work with her where I got let go of. She's an activist for the DACA,
Okay. For the doctor. Okay.
for DACA.
Yep.
And I get that those kids, you know, I fully understand them. I got to plug this in. I get their outrage, you know, and Trump has said he will help them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he wanted to give it to them 2 years ago, 3 million. And the Democrats, once again, no, 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 no. So this chick does something, is locked up federally. 7 charges against this 19-year-old because she went with people who are not organized. Felonious riot. Apparently, she did something in New York City a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. And then I'm reading the article. Now, my first reaction when I seen her get locked up, I reached out to her. I'll be in DC. Let me see what I can do for you. I've made a lot of connections, you know. Let me see what I can do for you. Then my granddaughter says, Nana, go read the article, what her sister says. So it says, you know, my family came from Mexico, we're law abiding people, blah, blah, blah. They never said that they were illegal or whatnot. But she said, you know, it's been a struggle for us because we're not white privileged. I was like, really, bitch? I said, I'm not going to DC. It got canceled. Like, are you fucking kidding me? How could you say that when you worked with all white people? Nobody treat you bad. You were hanging out with these whites. I was the oldest one there. These were all kids. I felt like the grandmother with 19 and 17-year-olds. And this is the shit that you say? Come on, man. My granddaughter's Puerto Rican, Irish, and Dominican. She had a problem with some white kids. They wanted to go down for the BLM. And she turned around and said, listen, nobody defended me when they were calling me a spick. Why should I go protest? Facts. What are you protesting about? Yes, the way he died was disgraceful. Nobody should die like
Right.
that.
Nobody.
But you ruined black businesses along the way. You took fucking people's livelihood with you over a dude that had a fucking record that it turns out to be that wasn't exactly nice.
Mm-hmm.
Still died the wrong way.
The wrong way.
The wrong way. But man,
George
you
Floyd.
fucking destroyed your whole neighborhood. I watched that shit back in the 70s when we had the blackout in 1977. We had this strip, Fordham Road in the Bronx. Every one of those stores got hit but Crazy Eddie's. And you know why Crazy Eddie's didn't get hit? Because he was
Oh.
a crazy Jew that was connected to the mafia on Arthur Avenue. They were all there with shotguns.
I knew it had to be some fuckery. I knew it had to be some fuckery.
Yep, BLM tried to go this year to Throgs Neck, which is heavy, predominantly Italian.
Mm-hmm.
They said, fucking bring it. The Italians were out there, fucking bring it. And they don't want to do this shit. You know what I'm saying? But you're not going to come to our neighborhood and fucking destroy it. And
Hell
look at what they did to Fordham Road. They fucking destroyed it. I felt so bad for this woman that owned the bakery. Yeah.
no.
You destroyed my store.
Yeah, your store. A place,
Your store.
place where people go, and it's just like it's a store across the street from my crib right now. And I would be pissed if I see some motherfuckers go ahead and destroy my motherfucking store. Sometimes my car ain't working. I might have to catch the bus sometimes. You know,
Right.
so I'm over here. It's the only store over here. Don't destroy my store. It's the only store in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And now we got to go ahead and walk miles because we ain't. Some of us ain't. Not as they got bus fare. They have to take they station, not their station wagon. They wagon to go grocery shopping.
You know, and AOC justifies it.
Ah.
Oh, they were hungry. Fucking yeah, hungry. Come on. But this goes back to 9/11, where we started giving everybody badges. Everybody wins, nobody loses. So you got a bunch of misfits who probably come from single homes. You know, I was a single mother, I divorced. I had my family to back me up. But the repeated patterns, this is what's got to stop. I heard Trump say when he first got in, he doesn't want these regular high schools. And I know when he was talking, what he really wanted to say was, who the fuck wants to learn about algebra if you're not interested?
Hey,
You know,
hey.
give them, trade schools. Teach the kid how to auto mechanic, how to be a carpenter. Not everybody wants to be academic. This is the backbone of this country. The bus drivers, the waitresses, the cooks, not even the nurses and the doctors, because we're lower than them. You know, it's like, who recognizes them? The hotel workers. Even now with the MTA, blacks once again got shifted because all the foreigners came in, the Indians, the Haitians, the Jamaicans, and what happened to the Black American?
Yeah.
Put on the back burner once again. And who gets in trouble for it? Me, the working class people.
Yes.
Get in trouble. So the media.
Shame on you,
racist.
I said, shame on you, racist. I mean, that's what they say. Shame on you, racist.
Yeah, shame on you, racist, when you start speaking the truth. Yo, brother, I'm not doing this to hurt your feelings. I'm doing this to help you become a man. You need to fucking man up. These babies having babies, that's a big problem too. Keep your fucking legs closed. You know, it's like there's no morals or no principles anymore. It's absolutely bullshit, you know. Like I said on that video too.
Oh, I'm gonna play that video in a minute. We're gonna play that. I'm gonna play that video.
But about I didn't see when they're talking about systematic racism, I'm like, the black culture is in every ethnic group that there is. You got Arab kids acting like black culture. My granddaughter, she could be a little, she tells me, homie, so it's like, it's in every culture. So people do worship the blacks. And if you don't see it by people not mocking you, but going for your culture, learning your culture, then you've been fucking blind. What's the sense? And these white liberals, with Bet TV and this and that. Come on.
Oh, you know the Starbucks drinking motherfuckers?
Yeah.
Boy, motherfuckers.
Fucking kidding me?
Listen, yeah.
Rap music started right on University Avenue. They had it going.
Yeah.
They did the greatest healing that there was. It was coming out of an era where you had riots in the Bronx, you had riots in California and Berkeley College, then you had what's his name, Rodney. It was just fucking chaos. And rap music, the beginning, I shouldn't say rap, freestyle came out and brought every disco. That was the best. We had lots of shit. Everybody was getting laid off in the 70s from the unions. Everybody. I mean, Ford just told New York, go fuck yourselves. And here came Donald Trump, did the Woolman Rink and then did the Hyatt Hotel. So it's like, New York is not going to bounce back from this. No. Not going to bounce back.
So I remember growing up, seriously, because I'm, by me from Chicago, and Chicago is kind of similar to New York. Very thick-skinned, and we can be arrogant at times, but we're some hard motherfuckers. And now I heard in New York and even LA, New York is a bunch of pussies in there. There are a bunch of pussies out there.
I have to laugh with some of these Antifa kids.
Yeah, a bunch of pussies.
I really fucking do. They're like, I was there last week when the two Proud Boys and two other people got stabbed. Again, Antifa, the white liberal, sent the black kid to cause a disruption.
Yeah.
Why he did the stabbing, the white kid. So who got the brunt of the beating? The black kid. And it's like, we have to stop. We're all Americans.
Americans.
We are this close to becoming
China.
one hung low and one some duck.
Uh-huh.
And if I refuse, and I told Trump when I was with him back in 2016, yo, dude, zip it so you can win it, because I'm not walking around like this. Meaning Hillary was going to give everything to the Muslims, and not the nice Muslims, the radical ones,
Radical.
And what really broke my heart, and I met Joe Biden, and I got a picture of me and Joe Biden, and I'm like this, I'm like, this was in 2015. And I told him, don't run, dude. Your time is up. Your time is up. He had just lost his son. But it's to find out that they knew where bin Laden was, ripped my fucking heart out. Obama and Joe Biden. He was in Iran. Did you just get a plug for that?
Huh?
No, I seen you look up. I thought maybe YouTube was warning you, like, shut
No,
up.
no, 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 no. I'm just listening. Like, no, I'm good. You can
But they knew where he was. He was in Iran. That's why he had to pay him the money before he got out of office. Sad. The worst thing Governor Cuomo ever fucking did for him, was lock me down.
Come on.
Because I had nothing better to do but to research. But I miss working. I miss meeting people. I miss talking to people. It's a fuckery in New York. I carried a couple of those flags. I got spit on by Antifa, harassed, I even told one BLM guy, I said, she just said she's rich. He said, I know she said she's rich. I said, so I'm a waitress. That's who you're fighting against. I'm on your side, my brother. I said, talk to her. Her father's gonna bail her out and let you hang. It's not the Democratic Party that I joined. It was
They were more classical liberals, classical liberals. It was different. It was more for open ideals and everything. It was just for open ideals and many other things. But now they're not liberals no more. They're commies.
They're commies. They're total commies, and it's both sides.
Yeah.
I mean, fucking Trump's been fighting this war almost by himself.
Yeah.
And he gets, when I see that Saturday Night Live is filming, are you fucking kidding me? But you can't sit in a restaurant. Now the people in New York are fighting back. They're telling Cuomo, you can't eat here. You can't eat. Don't come to our restaurant. They're fighting back. My boss, like, I get the virus is legit.
Yeah.
My boss died from it. My boss that I worked for 25 years.
Yes.
He was 84, and I know that he had a broken femur, but the way he died, he shouldn't have died alone in the hospital. His two sons are struggling to keep the two businesses going, so I said to them last week, I said, dudes, I'm not going to fight for you if you're not going to fight for you.
Yeah.
I said, I fought for your father when we were losing the lease down at the Market Diner. I said, I got connected to a lot of bigwigs. Trump saved your father's diner. He couldn't do what he wanted to do, but he helped him prolong it. I said, if I bring news cameras there and patriots, and you're like, I'm fucking not doing it. I'm not doing it. People need to start calling your representatives, telling them, you don't think that the other person's doing it. That's the problem. Get off your ass, man. Make a difference. I mean, I'm losing my apartment. My daughter never got the unemployment. 6 months later, just got denied for this rental thing. I'm in Facebook jail, so I can't do my readings. But I know I know without a shadow of a doubt, Trump is getting back in, and I'm gonna be okay. I know that.
Speak
I've
right.
had, I've had this vision for 2 years where I see him bringing the people down, the idiots in handcuffs, out of the Capitol building. And what day is that going to happen? January 6th. That's why he wants everybody in D.C. on January 6th. And I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there. I'm rubbing my nickels together because I know that God's got something in store for all
Yes,
of
he
us that have
does.
been
He does.
struggling.
He
You
does.
know, there's a lot of conspiracy theories out there, and
Right.
I fell in, but you know what? They woke me up.
Oh,
They
yeah.
woke me up. You know, when I started learning to read code, and I'm like, this is why it was so complicated because it was code all the time, numbers. You know, and it's amazing. A lot of light workers, a lot of you're woken. You're seeing the truth. You
Yes.
being here, you're being a truth seeker. You
Mm,
know, I feel sorry for the people that not. Tomorrow night's real special because we got those two planets lining up,
yeah.
and there's a major shift, man. And this is the first major shift since 2012.
Come on.
So it's coming. You know, people need to hang on because it's not going to turn out the way the liberals think it is.
Oh
It's
no.
not.
Too
I
comfortable
mean,
now.
how the fuck this Hollywood's been dictating this shit for years.
Yours.
You know, I mean, I have the TV on, but I don't even watch the TV. I
Mm.
just do it as a distraction because
Distraction. Right.
my brain is always going 95 miles an hour, you know, especially like when I came home last week from being out in DC and being so wound up, you know, just being like everybody said it was small. It wasn't small. You had 3 different events going on at the same time that were packed. The 6th is going to be phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be, I booked my room from the 4th to the 7th. You know, I want to take it all in. I want to take it all in because I know that dude's coming down and say, I'm your president again.
Next.
Yeah, next.
I'm the
And
gangster. I'm the H.
look at,
NIC.
but I'm glad because the BLM, I think, is starting to wake up because Joe Biden told them, I've done everything I'm going to do for you guys.
Huh. Yep.
So now I heard there's been some communication with BLM members, with New York patriots. You know, if this is what it's going to take, I tell them all the time Joe Biden wrote the bill, Kamala instilled it. I said, that woman never said she was black. She was always Indian. And if she's going to be vice president, how come she didn't resign from the Senate yet?
The bitch don't claim that she black. Bitch never claimed that she black.
She has a big resentment towards her daddy. He's Jamaican.
Woo!
But they think we're stupid. They think we're stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think they want to shut us up? Because we're speaking the truth.
The truth.
Yeah. And the truth will set you free. Look, I didn't get to meet George Bush, but I got to meet Dick Cheney. When I was with him, I was just like, all the firemen were looking at me like, because I never liked George Bush and I never liked Dick Cheney. I just thought they were snakes. And then I kind of grew to like George Bush because I figured he was an alcoholic. He couldn't speak right. And I got him, you know, because he spoke from his heart, or so I thought. But when the boys were asking me, what's the vice president's name? I said, Dick. And they were like, what? I said, his name is Dick. So they, you know, these guys know me. They're like, come on, Mary. What's the VP's name? I said, it's Dick.
You said it.
Yeah. And when he came up to me to shake my hand, he said to me, he leaned in and he said, are you friend or family? And all the big wigs in the fire department. I was going to say, so I said, just friend. But Cuomo, I never spoke to. He would try to get my attention. and I just never fucking gave in to him. I became good friends with his head detail. Um, his brother worked in that firehouse and died 9/11. And Como took it as an opportunity to politicize 9/11 through my friend's brother's death. So every 9/11, he would show up at the firehouse with a celebrity. Billy Joel.
Yeah.
I don't mind talking to him. He's very low key on this.
Right.
Kevin James. But he came when my friend was retiring. I said, "This is going to be the last time you see Como in the firehouse." And he said, "Come on, Mary, you never gave the guy a break. He talks to my mother. He loves my family." I said, "All right, all right, all right." So he comes shuffling over to me, him and De Niro, Robert De Niro. He says, "Bobby, this is Mary. She used to work in the diner down the block." I said, "Bobby knows me from the diner down the block. I got to go in and stir the meatballs. I'll be back, boys." I wouldn't even give them the time. I wouldn't even talk to them. And the whole firehouse cleared out.
Good Lord.
Yep. Yep. I've rubbed elbows with the best.
With the best.
With the best, and I've treated them like everybody else.
Right. That's how you post.
I mean, Kendall Gill. I loved Kendall Gill when he played for the New Jersey Nets. Stand-up guy, he's still a stand-up man. He when he was on the Nets, I did his food all the time. And when he found me on Instagram, I found him and I said, "Yo, yo, yo, Kendall, it's me, Mary." And he said, "Market Diner." He said, "What did I used to eat?" And I threw it out to him. And he hasn't been in New York since like 2002. And I threw it out what he used to eat. And he was like, "Oh my God, that's her. That's her." Jay Moore, Whitney Houston, bad. Bad. I didn't even know it was Whitney at the time. I knew it was Whitney because Bobby Brown smiled.
Yeah.
It's sad. I worked in the diner that they talk about, the Irish Mafia, the Market Diner.
Yeah.
And I finally asked the feds one year, like, "What the fuck, man?" I said, "I'm coming with plates and it's freeze. Why here?" And they said, because they explained to me, once they go through the tunnel to New Jersey, it's all bets off. This is a great escape. They got the Henry Hudson going northbound, and then they got the Lincoln Tunnel going to Jersey. So a lot of drug busts, wild,
Man.
wild with the Westies. I started working there at the tail end, but it was bad. And then it used to be the real hookers, and the diner had this thing with the real hookers and the pimps. You didn't come in to the diner at all. You stayed out on the street. And then it became the drag queens. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, the drag queens took over for the real deal. It was real seedy and shady. We had a couple of big clubs. I can't remember their name, but some high-profile people went to these clubs. We had the drag queen club right next door. It was a pisser because I used to tell people, "It looks like your brother, but it's more. It looks like your sister, but it's more like your brother." But you got to know them,
Yeah.
and their struggles. And towards the end, I was like, "How'd you get your makeup like that?" They became very protective of me. I didn't understand it. So when people get angry when you're throwing something at them, it's because they're not understanding. And just because you're throwing it at somebody, that doesn't mean they got to accept it right away. They got to,
See, the younger generation tell me, right, that back in the days you guys were homophobes in the 80s, and I said, no, yes, I had some gay friends, but they kept it on the down low back then. I mean, that's the way it was,
yeah.
We were not like, oh, let's kill the gays, let's do it. We were never like that.
No, this was all the ones that go and instigate
Yes.
and cause the drama. I've watched it. I've watched it. I don't know. When you get people that want to stand up for all that's good, where do you draw the line?
Mm-hmm.
You know, why should I be forced to listen to you if you're not even recognizing me? You know, and it's just Hollywood's been dictating this. The fucking liberal teachers, um, the indoctrination to this country has been incredible. Where
Yeah.
everybody thinks they're entitled. You're not entitled to jack shit. I'm coming up to retirement age. I should be able to be entitled, and I can't.
Mm-hmm.
It's sad. It really is sad. You know, but we're gonna win. We're gonna get rid of the Republicans and the Democrat, and it's gonna be two brand new parties.
Amen.
You know, we need it. We need it, and we got to stop the bullshit. Listen, when you got people that are over in communist countries singing the national anthem for us, the fuck? This guy got 5 Nobel Peace Prizes, and Joe Biden got 80 million votes.
Huh. 80 million.
80 million. That's what he thinks. He
Hey, hey,
might have got.
hey, what I'm gonna do right now, I'm gonna play your video,
Go
and,
ahead.
and I'm gonna have you feedback off the video. And this is when I first saw you on Twitter. Right now, I'm gonna play it from Instagram right here, and
Okay,
um, I'm gonna mute your mic for a minute.
go right ahead.
All right, and here we go. And so I'm gonna bring it right here. So I want everybody to listen, 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 listen. Look, learn, and listen.
Thanksgiving? Fuck you. I'm having more than 10 people at my home for Thanksgiving. Stop by. Maybe I'll throw you a bone. Let me tell you something, you piece of shit. You're going down. See, you put your dick where it didn't fucking belong and you're being blackmailed. Why don't you own up to it since you were talking about the fucking truth? The only thing you led New York into is dire straits. And you piece of shit, are going down along with 3 mayors in New York. I know one, and I'm assuming I know the second one because they did your dirty fucking work. They did your dirty work. Fuck you, Cuomo. Trump 2020, motherfucker. Happy Turkey Day. Here's your bone. Hey, Cuomo.
Right there, right there, right there. I had my mic muted. Right there. What was you thinking when you made that clip over there?
I was so pissed that he said no more than 10 people. Not that I have 10 people, but man, you've taken away everything from us. You've taken the summers away from the kids. You've taken school away. Now you're telling us we can't be with family. And I heard Fauci just came out and said, no Christmas. You communist bastards. Are you kidding me? And let me tell you something. What I said in that video about is you're going down, and I said, you put your dick where it didn't belong. He was on supposedly Pedo Island, but now somebody that used to work with him is accusing him of sexually harassing her. Now, I'm putting the story together. This is why Sandra Lee broke up with him, because the story is fact that he did sexually abuse this woman, sexually harass her. And she's coming to terms with it. I know people that used to be security for him that can't wait to be deputized because they want to lock him up. They want to lock him up. He's got cops divided. He's got cops divided. They don't want to work for him. Good cops are retiring like crazy. They want out. They want out. He's a piece of shit. And it's funny because as that story broke about the sexual harassment, Sandra Lee was moving everything out of their old house. You know, she had sold it in October. But
Yeah.
it's a true story. And he's making it look like, you know, Saturday Night Live can film, Hollywood can film, but restaurants can't open. I haven't worn a mask. I only wear a mask when I go into a store.
Because you have to.
Because well, a lot of times I forget and I'm like, oh. But if people know me, I don't. I believe I had the virus back in February. I was sick for 2 days. I was so sick. And I have a nebulizer because of my smoking and I get bronchitis. And I did the nebulizer and I did the emergency for 2 days. And I slept for 2 days.
Yeah.
And I worked right next to the epi center of the outbreak was New Rochelle. So I did that for like 2 days. I stood and bounced back, but I didn't know it was the virus. And I've been around people that had the virus and I haven't gotten it. So I think if you're now, a friend of mine just got out of the hospital. She was really bad. Her husband told me she almost died. And he has the virus. And he didn't get the coronavirus. But his wife, who doesn't have the virus, almost died. And when I was talking to him, picking his brain, and I said, wait a second. You guys are vegetarians and vegans. They said, yeah. I said, you're not getting any fucking protein. The meat. That's why she got so sick. You know, and what somebody said about this guy, a bodybuilder by us, died. And I said, was he doing steroids? That compromises shit. How come the homeless aren't dead in New York?
Come
Laying
on.
all over the place.
You're telling too much.
You know, it's. Are you getting beeped?
Yeah.
You are?
You said what?
Oh, did you get beeped? I'm
No,
thinking,
I ain't got beat. I said beat. I said, huh?
no, but the
I'm
homeless.
good over here. I'm good over here. You keep saying what the hell you want to say.
But the homeless is not dying from the virus. You know, and how, like, all of a sudden it's up again. Come on, what happened to the flu? Where's the flu? Overdoses. My cousin died of liver disease. They put on his death certificate, COVID. His wife made him change it. She says he didn't have COVID. He was home in my house. He died in my house. He was on dialysis for the last year. Like, come on. For some people, it is deadly. And I'm not saying that it's not.
Right.
But for most of us, it's not. When you got a 98% recovery rate, and why are they trying to stop all these doctors from talking? See, once you start shutting people up, listen, Hollywood is the biggest conspiracy theory. How come you don't shut them up? You don't fucking shut them up. Look at all their movies. They've been playing our lives out the whole time.
Playing our lives out.
Madam Secretary, are you fucking kidding me? They're all going down. They're all going down. I just hope, and I shouldn't say I hope, Trump is going to do this. I mean, he has everybody's best intentions at heart. He really is. He's the only person that could have ever done this. You know, a lot of people say JFK Jr. is alive. Do I wish he was? He was the most dynamic looking person I ever met. You know, he was a prosecutor, young prosecutor, and my cousin was the senior court officer. And I was able to meet John, you know, and it was a tragedy what happened to him. You know, and then you look at Caroline's son, and he looks just like John. You know, like I wish he was alive, but there's a lot of conspiracies that I buy into, like the pedophile. I had no idea this shit was going on. How huge it was with the pedophiles, you know, human trafficking. Look at all these soldiers that are being found by Fort Bragg.
Right.
You know, some of them with their shits out. Let me tell you something. Trump is on that shit.
He
find out.
He own that shit.
Huh?
He's on it. They don't know that. He's a chess player. He knew that this is going to happen, and he's a step ahead of the game. And they need to be worried because he's too quiet right now.
What people don't realize is that John Kennedy Jr. was going to run against Hillary Clinton in New York for a Senate seat, and in his magazine George, he had just done a big thing on Bill Gates. He was exposing Bill Gates. What the fuck is a computer guy gonna tell me about fucking bio?
Right.
Like, you ain't putting no vaccine in me. It ain't happening. I never took the flu shot. I'm gonna put this shit in me.
Right. Even Common Sense told me not to take a flu shot because I remember I took a flu shot years ago. Years ago, when the first time, I don't remember what year. It might have been sometime in the 90s, but my arm was hurting for a long time.
I came home one time and my mother was like, I thought she was dead after she had the flu shot. I
Hmm.
was like, holy shit. You know, I even questioned my mother's death too, because her sister died March 3rd down in Florida. And I went to see my mother on March 4th. She was in a nursing home
Yeah.
and she was outside the cafeteria. She was very cranky as usual. And I said, come on, you got to eat. And she said, you're pain in the ass, leave me alone. And I brought her back to her room and I said to the nurse, my mom is back in the room, make sure she gets in the bed. My sister went up there at 7 o'clock that night and my mother was still in the wheelchair. And I was fucking pissed because I left her at 12 o'clock in the 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
You know, my mother was disabled as it was. She had scoliosis, but she raised 5 of us because my father was a drunk. That's another shit that pisses me off. They see me, I'm white. They think I'm elite. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. If it came down to a quart of beer or a quart of milk, guess what won? The beer, you know, and so we had it pretty tough. But my mom the next day died. I got the phone call at 5:45,
Lord.
and I was like, okay, I got it. But what really bothered me was my family had to pay $25,000 to get my mother Medicaid because we went through her money when she was living with me because we didn't want the state to get it. Because what people don't realize, if you have a house and you need Medicaid at the end of your life, guess what? Your family ain't getting your house. The government is.
Yeah.
Trump is changing that if he hasn't already. So the next day she dies and whatnot. So my sister's the proxy, but my mother lived with me. My mother's not even cold. 6:15, I get the call. Who's coming for your mother's body? I said, there's a snowstorm. We're waiting for the funeral to open, the funeral place.
Hmm.
Call my sister. She says, nothing I can do. Now there's a blizzard. And
Yeah.
I'm only like a mile and a half away from my mother. I would have loved nothing more to get up there and lay in the bed with my mother. My mother died alone.
Yeah.
And so she, my sister says, all right, tell them to call me. I'm telling you 3 more times. This woman called me and she had this Haitian accent. And I told her, listen, you bitch. I said, you see those old little white people sitting there, all those little people, the little old people, the black vet in the corner, the Hispanic man, all here. I said, they paid for you to come over here on their tax dollars. They
Hmm.
paid for your education. They're still fucking paying for your job. What do you want me to do? Pitch my mother on a sled and put her in my backyard?
Yeah.
There's a blizzard.
Right.
Like, what the fuck? That showed me how it was just a money thing.
These
They
dumb.
don't care. They don't care. Half of these nurses are burnt out. Half of them are burnt out. Too much. Just like they're talking about police reform. Listen, growing up in the 70s,
Yeah.
if a cop kicked you in the ass, you didn't go home and tell your mother that a cop kicked you in the ass. Because
Hmm.
your mother kicked your ass all the way back to the cop to
Come on.
find out what the hell you did.
Come on.
There was respect back then. We
It
used to
was.
call it the land of the shades because all the people were peeking out. They weren't being nosy. They were watching our kids. They were watching us. They were keeping an eye on us.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like today, everybody comes with the video.
I know. It's always like
Instead of calling 911. Like instead of calling the cops, they rather video people getting killed.
I got proof. I got proof. I got
Yeah.
receipts.
Yeah, world star.
World
Like,
star.
yeah. Meanwhile, like I told this kid last week, pull up your fucking pants. I don't want to see your Fruit of the Looms. Like, what the fuck? This kid came into my house one time because I really grew up. My daughter grew up. She's Puerto Rican and Irish. You know, the white girls didn't like her because she was pretty. The Puerto Ricans didn't like her because she was the only child. So she always went through her struggles, and I told her, suck it up, buttercup, not everybody's gonna like and what happened was we lived in this multicultural neighborhood. This one kid coming in, and it was when rap was really starting to go into the streets,
Mm-hmm.
and the pants, the baggy pants, and so this kid walks in, he comes into my house, and his pants are hanging off his ass, and he goes, "What's up, Mary?" And I was like, "You talking to me?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Yo, homie, do me a favor. Get the fuck out, pull up your pants. The only underwears I want to see in this house is whoever's in my bed. You're not in my bed. Knock on the door, and it's Mrs. Q." To this day, this kid sees me. He's 40 years old now. "Mrs. Q, what's up?" No. When I go back to the other neighborhood, yeah, uh-uh. What it is, mothers today try to be friends with their kids. And it's because it's babies having babies.
Mm. It is.
It's sad. It's sad. And our government keeps them like that.
They do. And I was talking to a customer in my job. I work at an organic place, and customers, they vent to me a lot, and they were talking about how they don't want to teach kids about spirituality. Everything
No?
is their right not to believe in something, and they can be atheists. They can do this. And back then, we went to church.
Yeah, we went to
I
church.
don't make me wear this hot ass suit to sing in the back. Look, you're gonna sing in the choir. She pushed you gonna be in the choir. I'm not gonna say hello, Lord.
But the devil was always pulling my
Choir robe on.
yeah, but you know what? The devil was always pulling my strings all through my life, the rebellion.
Yeah,
When I was talking to somebody, he said, "You got an interesting life." I was the first girl ice hockey player in New York on a high school team back in the 70s. So it's like, because I don't have. See, and that's my ego talking. When I look around what I do have and how blessed I've been
yes.
to not survive it once, not survive it twice, but hit my head against the wall so many times, only to have God grace me and pick me up, and I know it's to be on this journey to share the truth, with people. You got a lot of implants that are living in New York. Trust me. The old New Yorkers my age, they suck. And when I pull their shit too, why'd you move out of the neighborhood?
Yeah.
Oh, the drugs were coming. You're full of shit. I met you in AA. What the fuck are you talking
Mhm.
about? Like, get the fuck out of here, you liberal piece of
Come
shit.
on.
Yeah. And it's like, they don't, I'm very outspoken, very outspoken.
Tell them how you really feel.
Oh, my brother, going back to 2001, when he seen me in the fight, now he's a counselor. All his guys are like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah," and he's like, "Oh my god." He said, "She must have had a bad day," but he laughs because it went all through the veterans home, the whole video, and now when I do my videos, they show it to the veterans home because these poor guys have been locked down. He's in Illinois. He's got a governor just like me, a real fucking moron. Another one that's been on Pedo Island. I don't know his name, Saminsky, whatever, that Polish guy out in Illinois. But he fucked it up too. Like, open up. If people get sick, it's what happened to my body, my choice. Joe Biden's been fucking harassing people for how long, and all of a sudden the Me Too group is gone? Give me a break. Give me a break.
It's so fucked up, man. And I hear people say that Obama ran. I'm from Chicago. I actually live an hour away from Chicago. And people that I know in Chicago and said I haven't heard of Obama until he ran for president. I'm just saying. They haven't heard
Listen,
of him until he ran for president.
my nephew, when they had the floods, I think Obama was the candidate at the time when
Okay.
the Mississippi River was breaching. My brother lives in Quincy by the Mississippi River, and Obama went there. My nephew was with Obama. And I remember my mother saying, I know that's Dylan, but who's that guy? I said, they say he's going to be Uncle Obama. He's going to be our president. She said, where the fuck did he come from? I never heard of him before. And she was right. Even my brother said, I never heard of him. I never heard of him.
No one knew him in Chicago.
Nobody.
And they said he was this, but no one knew him.
Yeah.
They didn't know that nigga.
And look at Joan Rivers. She said, oh, everybody knows Mike is a tranny. And a couple of months later, she was dead. Like, even if he was, what was the big fucking deal? So anything that he says, Obama, I never liked him. I didn't like the fact that I couldn't afford one of his so-called health cares, and they would take my tax money. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Come on.
Let me tell you something. These politicians are going to be fucking sorry they ever locked us down. They are sorry. They're squirming. You can feel them squirming. Pelosi. Like, how do you do that?
Oh, that cunt. That thunder cunt.
Oh, God. How do you hold up ice cream when people are fucking starving? Like, these self-centered... This is it. This country is running on self-centeredness. It's all about everybody.
Say it again. You said this country is run on what?
Self-centeredness.
Come on.
It's all about them. It's all about me, 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 me.
Me.
Yep. And meanwhile, good people are struggling. I see it. I see these restaurant owners. I'm like, fuck it. Open up. Do you know that Cuomo was using TLC cops, which is taxi limousine cops, to close these restaurants?
Everybody, look at that. To close these fucking restaurants right here. Look at that.
It's terrible.
And these the motherfuckers y'all support.
And the guy in Staten Island got a real bad rap because he hit that supposedly sheriff. But the true story is, he came out of his bar. They called his name. They were all dressed in black. None of them were showing badges, and they ran after him. So you see that shit. You've been on national TV all over the place. You think people are gonna fucking rob you. So what do? You jump in your car and you fucking take off. Turns out that they were sheriffs, but they never identified themselves. The video's right there. They're so fucking stupid. They're the ones that said cameras here, cameras here, cameras here. The cameras are backfiring on these motherfuckers. They're crazy.
It backfired on them. Everything is backfiring on them. And it's so funny. We don't got to expose them. All we got to do is do our part. But they are exposing themselves.
Oh my God.
They're exploiting themselves. They are showing who they really are. Maybe some maybe we can grab a little bit of our younger generation. Maybe we can grab some of our grandbabies. I got grandbabies. I know you.
Yeah, my granddaughter's 19.
You got grandbabies?
Yep. It's bad. There's, I used to tell my daughter, I brought you into this world. I'll truly take you out.
Take your ass out.
Yeah.
Back, Alicia.
Yeah. Now she's 40. She's still a pain in the ass.
Hey, they're gonna be a pain in the ass as long as they are children.
I was my mother's pain in the ass, so it's karma.
Yeah, karma. Karma's a bitch.
But I know God, like we were talking about the spirituality. See, I always say with spirituality, you need no religion. With religion, you always need spirituality. Because how do you come out of church and saying that you repented all your sins and then talk about the woman who was next door to you? So where the fuck is the spirituality part? Spirituality is participating. It's being active. It's out of self into others. I hadn't done any readings online or given anything free away. And I felt myself going into a depression. I said, oh, no. And then I just read a couple of Psalms, a couple of Proverbs. All right, let's do this, God. I need you. Because when I think that I'm in control, that's when everything is all screwed up. And I'm looking at the world like this. God better come back. He's got to come back.
But this is the year that we're gonna break the chains.
Oh hell yeah!
This is the year.
Did you ever hear about that Nasara that they're talking about?
No, bring that up. Refresh my
It's
memory.
something about all debt. Like if we go back to the old Constitution,
Yeah.
banks are not allowed to lend you money to purchase a home.
Mm-hmm.
Lawyers are not allowed to co-sign on that.
Yeah.
So supposedly this is going into effect. I won't mind because it'll wipe my credit all out and make it a lot easier. For a
Bad
lot
credit.
of people, oh, this has been the worst. I I've never been out of work this long. Even when I had my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm my legs are killing me because I'm not working. I'm used to going. And I'm not talking that I used to do a lunch shift. When I worked in this famous pizza place, I used to work Thursday, Friday, and Saturday from 11 to 10 without a break half the time. Because I was always, I'm not bragging, but I was always in demand. Because I listen to what people want. If they want it a certain way, they're going to get it a certain way. And I made money. I was making money. And then Como said, "Yeah, we're gonna pay you $15 an hour and keep your tips." I said, "Motherfucker, you're not keeping my tips." Sometimes I would walk home with $300 in a day, 350 a day. You ain't keeping my tips. The more you talk to customers, the better tip you got. And you knew who your cranky ones were. You stayed away from them.
You knew that.
Joe Scarborough. I served him from MSNBC. And I said, and I was looking at him, I said, "Where do I know this fuck from?" And then I said, "You look familiar. Where do I know you from?" So he gets up, he's with his son. He gets up and he flexes his muscles like this. This is Morning Joe. And he says, "Everybody says I look like Joe Scarborough from MSNBC." I went, "Oh my God, what a fucking whiner he is." Oh, oh.
Like, ah.
And I walked away. And this guy was waiting because we used to get a line to come into this place. That's how good the pizza was. And this Irish guy says to me, "Come here. What'd you just say to Joe Scarborough?" I said, "Joe Scarborough." Oh, fuck. I didn't even realize. But I told him the truth without realizing. Another time I had this Chinese woman that Chinese people are very rude when they come into restaurants.
They are. They are. I agree.
So she was snapping her fingers at me. So I went up to, this was about 2.5 years ago. And I said, "I don't know if you got the message, but you don't fucking own us anymore." And I couldn't said it. I was like,
Ah.
"Oh." But
Oh.
I was that type of waitress that got away with it. My CEO, when he had to let me go because of this kid, that I told him, "I'm gonna kick your ass. I'm gonna kick your ass up and down Central Avenue." And I guess he got scared. But they had to fire me. But the CEO said to me, "You're the hardest person I ever had to fire." He said, I said, "I get it." I said, "The way they changed the laws for the little snowflakes and you can't hurt their feelings."
Mm-hmm.
I said, "But I'm still going to get him outside."
Get that motherfucker.
Yeah.
Outside, that motherfucker outside.
Now, he's been closed since the pandemic. He's only doing outgoing.
Okay.
And I have a funny feeling he's going to call me to come back. See, but he's got to wait because I live in a very liberal town, a lot of elites,
Elites, yeah.
Westchester. My mayor, like I said, is married to, the media is all in with politics. And this is what people need to see, how connected the politicians have family in all areas of the meeting. So this is another reason why we don't get the truth. My mayor is married to the media. Cuomo's brother, it's there. When Schwarzenegger was governor, his wife.
Ain't your mayor married to a sister?
My mayor?
Yeah, somebody say married to a black woman. Something with that shit.
Oh, yeah, that's De Blasio. That's for the city. See, I'm 10 minutes away from the city. I had to eventually leave my neighborhood because they were burning it.
Well, he got a little bit of jungle fever.
Well, he's a little bit of an asshole. You know, I don't know if you saw a picture of his daughter, but she even ratted Biden now.
Right.
She said that Biden cheated. She's horrible looking. They're all fucked up. He's
Yeah.
a pothead. And let me tell you something. There's a lot of cops that are protecting him on it. They're dirty. They're all fucking dirty.
Dirty motherfuckers.
They all got to be dirty cops.
No matter what color they are, because I got beat more by black cops in Chicago than white cops. Facts.
You know, I mean, I get a lot of these deaths could have been prevented.
Yeah.
But man, when Obama was in office, it was open season on NYPD cops. This guy comes from Baltimore. 2 cops are eating their lunches in Brooklyn. Bang, bang. Come on. For what? Obama started all this diversity. And Obama's mother was white. She was Irish. Obama's mother was white. And he hates white people.
Fuck that nigga.
But you know what? He got used. He got used.
Yep.
Again, the white liberal took control of the black man.
It's their right. Look, it's the black people rights, it's the gay rights, and white liberals always stick their fucking nose in business that they don't fucking belong.
Because they have no reality of it.
Yes.
These are the fucking hippies from the 70s.
Yeah.
It's bad.
So the hippies from the 70s, are they similar to the ones nowadays?
What's that?
The hippies from the 70s, see, you've been around the 70s, right?
Right.
So are the hippies from the 70s similar to the ones in 2020?
No, because the hippies from the 70s were more about peace and love.
Yeah.
Then you had the riots out in California. Those were the terrorist hippies.
Okay.
Those are what like Antifa almost.
Whoa.
Now Antifa thinks Proud Boys had 1,500 Proud Boys scattered all over DC. They were walking people back to their hotels. I was told you don't go anywhere after dark by yourself. You come over, you grab 4 of us, we walk you to, we walk you back. Case closed. Because people my age are targets. I was at a flag drop in the city, and we were marching it from City Hall down to Sagatti Park, where all this bullshit originated. That's in 2012. Take over Wall Street, occupy Wall Street. That's that's a part of the Antifa and the liberal. But I had this guy, a white guy, with a BLM shirt, saying, "You look disgruntled. Why are you fucking carrying that flag?" Blah, 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 blah. And I was like, "It's my business. Like, go away." So he's like, "You're a racist. Look at the anger on your face." So I was getting pissed off. I wanted to jump on him. So the woman behind me says, "Why don't you go to the other side? He's going to harass you the whole way." I said, "What are you, out of your fucking mind? I'm not moving. I'm not moving. He'll move before me." The next thing I know, this cop comes in my ear and he says, "Good for you, baby. You keep marching." I said, "I'm family of MOS, meaning family of a man of service." He had a cop walk with me the rest of the way. I was there when they threw rocks at Giuliani in the car in Times Square. Fucking horrible, because they don't know the truth.
Right.
And this week I heard, and it's coming from a pretty good source, that the media is going down. He's taking them down.
Yeah.
Has to. And I tell them all the time, come and interview me. You don't want to interview me. You won't put me on, because I'm going to tell you the truth and point out to each and every one. Remember when he did that? Remember? It's all bullshit. Because Ching Chong wanted to take over. And right on 42nd and 12th Avenue is the Chinese embassy in Manhattan, right by the Intrepid.
Wow.
Right next to the firehouse is where they live. Yep. And I'm looking up here where I live in Yonkers. I want to see how many people Chinese bought because they're doing a lot of rebuilding. Like they're doing what they always do. They fuck up the black poor neighborhoods, then they push them out, and then they gentrify them, just like they did on 138 Willis Avenue. So guess what? The working man that makes the minimum wage can't afford to live there, and it's a fucking vicious circle.
Yeah.
And the blacks need to stand up, man, and stop it. They were always Republicans. I remember when I was a kid, we had a porter named Shane. He bought me my first bicycle. He bought me a bicycle when I made my first Holy Communion. It was always in my house. Whoopi Goldberg, Karen Johnson, my grandmother's house on 9th Avenue. So, what the fuck?
So what the fuck happened to Whoopi Goldberg? What the fuck happened to Oprah Winfrey? What the fuck happened to them?
They all wanted to be fame, money. They're bought. They've been blackmailed. I heard Oprah is not a nice person at all.
I believe that.
She's done a lot of trafficking. It's sad, you know. It's fucking disheartening when you see people that you liked really had respect for their talents. I've been attacked by Michael Rappaport. You know the guy. He's an old time actor. Old time. I don't even know what he does, but he's always on Bravo, and I used to watch Bravo because I like the Real Housewife.
Okay.
And let me tell you something. Portia, she fucking antagonized the fucking riots down in Georgia. Just by them going, they antagonized it more. You know, you dumb bitch, you didn't even know about the fucking tunnels that your grandfather was a part of when you first got on the show. And then the other one, Lisa Renner from Fuck You Bitches. You don't know our struggles. And I think Andy Cohen blocked me because I would tell him, what do you fucking think? Only liberals watch your show? You dumb fucks.
You be on Twitter just going in with
Yeah, that's why I'm banned. Well, I'm not banned. I'm suspended.
suspended.
They told me to be patient.
Yeah. Twitter jail.
But somebody told me that if I get a VPN number, they can't trace my IP number.
Yep.
So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna come back on because I miss not only. Well, I've been going after them on Instagram a lot. Cuomo, I always go after, no matter where I am. You know, I even call his office. You scumbag, you fucking bastard. And somebody said to me on TikTok, he'll never see this. I said he saw my 9/11 video when I called him out on all his bullshit because his ex detail, my friend, doesn't have social media at all. His wife, nothing. And a trooper sent him that video and said, look, do you know this woman? And he fucking flipped when he saw it. Because when he saw me this 9/11, he saw me, he hugged me. He said, my mom and dad can't be here because of the virus. But he says, I am not on any social media, but your video was sent to me and you nailed it. You nailed everything about him, how he hijacked everything on 9/11. And Como saw that video. He saw that video. So I think he's taken out on my daughter what I've been doing because we did. I mean, but it'll get back to Trump somehow that I'm struggling. I keep tweeting him, you got a job for me down in Florida. But Rudy is the one, and I just can't bother Rudy now because Rudy's got a lot of shit going on. A lot of shit. I don't know how that man does it. Rudy.
Oh my God. Man, we got a lot of work to do, y'all. We got a lot of work to do over
We all
here.
got to come together. That's the whole shit. Just drop a little bit at a time. You know, Hillary's emails are out there. Drop them. Drop them. They let them go. A lot of shit's gonna happen this week. You know, I don't believe. I think we're already in martial law because I heard it's the military that's delivering these vaccines.
Go ahead.
And that it's the military that's pretending to take the vaccines because and now Ellen DeGeneres has the virus. So there's a lot of shit going on, and it all boils down to one thing. We are clearing up and getting rid of a lot of shit that's been holding us hostage for years. And it's time. It's time. And we're not gonna riot, we're not gonna gang bang, we're all gonna come together. You know, we gotta get the message out to BLM some way. They gotta start following Malcolm X, because he spoke a lot of truth. A lot of truth.
Yeah. It's like, man, man, it's just so crazy. 2020. I have never seen so much shit like this in my life.
It's bullshit.
You know, I have never seen it, and I'm just like, wow. I feel like I'm living in the Matrix right now, like the Matrix.
Yeah.
That one Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. I feel like when I'm watching. I feel like we watch these old ass movies, these '80s movies.
Yeah. We're reliving the 80s.
Yes.
But it's far more dangerous because now we have the internet. Back in the 80s, we didn't. See, the internet was a big asset at one time. Now it's become a big liability.
Yeah,
Big liability.
it is. It is.
It's how these fucking politicians, this, what's his name, Hunter, with his niece. Are you fucking kidding me? Your dead brother's daughter.
Yeah.
And then I didn't even know Joe Biden had a daughter. She's a crackhead. We all go through shit. We all go through, secrets. But man, I will tell you this. My father would never, ever he'd kick the shit out of us before he ever touched us sexually. That was one thing. And there was a lot of perverts back in the 70s too.
Yes.
That used to drive around in the Cadillac, yellow Cadillac. And then we wind up bombing them with rocks. Windows didn't break back then because they were good. But it was a neighborhood that stuck together. You don't have that anymore.
It's crazy, right? I always heard of something, by me in Chicago, I always heard the most diverse cities in America. In America, I ain't talking about the United States. It's New York, number one, diverse. And, like I look at Chicago, like we have the attitude, we only racist against you if you ain't from this fucking neighborhood.
Right.
If you ain't from around here.
But it's these, look at this shit. Illegals can have driver's license now. You're in and out of the court system.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
And then the cop becomes the bad person. A lot of these cops, I always said, you never know what a cop is going to see. See, I hung around in the firehouse for a long time after 9/11 because I got to hear their stories. And I couldn't figure out how they would come in with these dry sense of humors. They see so much shit that it is immune. It's like, it's terrible. It really is. It's terrible. Look at this one kid, a year ago, September, Brian Mulkeen, a customer of mine up in the pizza place. They're singing Country Roads. And an hour later, he's shot dead. For what? Why do these punks have guns? Why don't you fight, fist fight?
Yeah.
They can't. But let me tell you something. With all the shit that I gotta remember when I was watching the riots, like it's not the people, it's the fucking media that's doing this. And then hiding it. And they were seeing it over in Europe, full flash. Look at these black Americans, and it pisses me off. Fucking pisses me off that half the people that immigrate to this country come in with a bad attitude towards black Americans.
Yeah.
And it's all because of the fucking media, and the blacks don't see this.
Right. And I wish the blacks see this shit. And I get pissed. Sometimes I want to slap this shit out the black community. I say, why would you fucking vote for a fucking party that look at you as a bunch of fucking porch monkeys? I'm gonna talk like that. I'm gonna say it like this. They look at you as a bunch of token Negroes. Why would you vote for that fucking party?
Yeah.
I
After
call it out. I call that out. See, a lot of white people don't want to call it out because they get scared to be called a racist. So blame it on me. I said it.
oh, I call it out too. Like, where the fuck are your black representatives?
Yeah, where?
Like, look at that one Johnson from Milwaukee. Was it Milwaukee? The Cynthia Johnson. You Trump supporters. The one that threatened all Trump supporters. And she threw Obama, Biden, and Harris right under the table. She was drunk. She said, I'm getting lynched because I did right for you. You better take care of me. Did you see that representative?
You said in
Cynthia Johnson was her name.
okay.
She went ballistic. She was the one that was attacking the girl that was, I think it was Michigan. I think it's Michigan.
Oh, okay. I did not look. Now you're refreshing my memory. Because they've been arguing and working on this for the whole 2 weeks.
And she's like, you Trump supporters. And I was like, this is fucking live. Am I watching this bitch threaten us?
Yeah, exactly.
Listen, AOC threatened us too. Now, I threatened the AOC back in March, and I had the congressional police
Shame
call
on you. I'm offended. Go ahead.
the congressional police called me, and the guy was really laughing. I said, I just want to take her over my knee and give her a good spanking, because she clearly does not know what the fuck she's talking about.
Yeah.
And her election was rigged too, and Soros pays for her. So, but I got to get out of here. What time is it? Oh, Mama's up after her.
All right. Hey, I'm glad I got to interview you. You got my email.
You know, yes, and I hope I awoke some people that are here. You know, it's going to take a long time for New York to bounce back, and it's not Trump that did it. It's your local government. So if you're struggling, and Jesus Christ, if you're moving from a blue state into a red state, leave your blue vote behind. Don't take it with you. Stay in the red. Stay in the red. You're going to have to work, but oh well. You're going to have a lot more in 2021 than we ever did in the last 60 years.
All right. Anything you want to say before I end this stream? And I want you to stay on here for a minute when I end this stream. And anything you want to say? And I'm going to end this. And I want you back on here. You can come back on here.
Definitely. You know, just God bless everybody. If you want to reach out to me, I can be reached out on Instagram, Twitter, I'm banned. Facebook, I'm banned. But I do have a YouTube page where I do some angel card readings. So the angels have been protecting me, and God bless all of you. You know, keep God in your life and get out of self into others. Stop the keyboard worrying. Pick up the phone. Make a difference.
All right. Hey, stay on, man. All right. Much love to y'all, man. Much love to y'all. All right. We will be back, man, with some more truth over here. All right. Well said. We out of here. Next.